Hi, my name is Christina Sanders, and that was my dog. My name is Christina Sanders, and I am the author of the My Little Travel Black Book, the ultimate guide to travel tips to show you how you can afford to travel when you want and where you want without breaking the bank. Now, it is after midnight. I am a little tired right now. However, I just wanted to jump on and try to show you some little tips and tools that I use to actually find the best travel deals. This is very informal, and this is my first actual training, and I'm very, this is pretty raw. Yeah, I'm not all dressed up. It's not during the day, trust me. So I got my little headscarf on, and put a little earrings. I accessorize that a little bit. Anyway, I just wanted to share this information with you because I felt like it's very valuable, especially because it's still summertime and a lot of people are still trying to find places to go and save for their vacation, as well as their various conferences going on and music festivals or what have you, or you might want to visit family or whatnot, but or start planning for the holiday season that will be here before you know it. So this is just something I thought I'd share. Now, the tool that I'm talking about is Google Flights. You can get to Google Flights by going in your search bar, go to www.google.com/flights. I don't know why I can't talk right now. Or you can actually go to the actual search in here, the search engine, and type in flights. Let's just say that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Google Flights link, and this is the particular homepage, if you would, that comes up. Now, this is what most people see, but they don't actually see the other options behind Google Flights because you're just basically doing a basic search. But for those that want to learn a little bit more about how to use Google Flights, this is really going to be a good little session for you. I try to keep it short and simple, but I'll try to show you as much as I can. So for this particular screen, you see I have my search bar that will show like my origin airport or city, if you would, and of course my destination city. So I'm gonna say I want to go, let's say I want to go to Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte, the Queen City. And say for instance I want to go in September. So I'm gonna click in the departure date time frame, and it pulls up the actual calendar. What I like about Google Flights is that it shows you the actual pricing, to give you an idea of what how much it'll be during that time frame, the time frame that I choose. Which, if you have don't have a particular window that you're trying to stay in, this helps you kind of look out and not guesstimate, but get a good idea of what the deals are going for, the lowest deals, if you would. So to September, let's say I click on September 5th because I see this green button. Now, watch this. So if I click September 5th, the price goes down. But the thing is, that's for the return date. I'm not trying to turn around the same day and come back for $187 unless it was just serious meeting or what have you. However, the return date is the date that you want to look at, because whatever the rate is for that date is the rate that you're going to get, the lowest price for, or the price for that particular day. So for this, let's just say the cheapest rate returning would be on the 9th. So I have time. I'll leave out on the Thursday, come back on the 9th, which is a Monday, for $223. So if I select the 9th and hit done, excuse me, then it returns the flight options. Now, looking at this just in glance, you might say, well, that's not $223. That says $378. Well, if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see where the $223 comes in. Now, $223, you have to be very careful when you are using any type of search engine. And let me kind of go back. Google is a search aggregator. And what that means is that it goes out and pulls various data from different airline carriers to get their pricing information for the time frame, and that's how it pulls it all together. And it shows you the various carriers and their rates. Now, say for instance, I thought, oh my goodness, this is a great deal, 22.23. The thing that you have to watch is the time frame. So right in here, or the flight time, or the trip time. So for this particular departing flight is 21 hours. While I actually have had great experience with Frontier Airlines, usually they go through Denver. I'm sorry, my throat is very dry. But usually they go through Denver, which means it's an overnight stay. So this is where this 21 hours is coming from, even though it's a cheaper rate. Another thing that you kind of have to consider with Frontier, as well as a couple of other lower cost airlines, if you would, is that some of the things that you have to pay a la carte. So you're paying for check bags, you pay for the carry-on bags, you pay for seating if you want, or you can just let them choose seating, and so on and so forth. But the main thing about that is you have to definitely look at the actual flight time. That's a bit long for this trip, right? So I'm going to look at, some of the other options, so to speak. So maybe I might choose American. Now I'm paying a little extra. Now, that's one side of it. Here's where the information gets really good. Say, for instance, you know that some carriers often charge extra for the carry-on bags, checked-in bags. Well, this filter here allows me to say, I want one carry-on bag and one checked-in bag. I'm sorry. So you actually see how that rate went up. But that's actually a smart tool for you, so that you can actually know before you book your trip and then get to the gate or to the ticket counter or what have you, and then you're having to pay for the checked-in bag and your carry-on, if you would. So this is good for this option. This filter is good. The next thing is the stops. So say, for instance, you want a non-stop flight, or you only want to stop one time. That may change your pricing, but it may keep it the same. So that actually a non-stop with no bags, that one personal item, I guess your purse, or MERS, or I don't know, whatever, is, you can get there non-stop, which is great. You can also select the carriers that you prefer. Maybe you have like a membership, like a rewards program with them, and you just want to fly those. So you can eliminate the ones that you don't want, and keep the ones that you do want. So that option is great there. You can also use this little slider tool to gauge your pricing information. Now, like the highest for this particular trip would be under $460, but maybe I want to stay in under $400. So then I would move the bar, and then it would only return those flights within that filter. So all these filters are factors into your pricing. So that's what makes it a great tool to use, because you can kind of gauge what you're going to actually pay. Sometimes, if you fly out early or fly out later than in the day, you'll get different pricing. You might have better pricing, you may not. But this is pretty standard, and you can select it both for outbound or return. So I'm just going to keep that for right there. The next filter option, is the connecting airports. I guess the only reason why I would use like a connecting airport is if, I don't know why I use that actually. I guess, okay, yes, I would. So this is actually awesome. So say for instance, you want a layover in Houston and you want the duration to be up to 13 hours. Cause I got some friends in Houston. That's my old stomping ground. So, basically, I can leave the airport and go hang out with my friends, have a little lunch, and get to the airport, and so you can kind of use it. You can gauge it for that, or sometimes the price may be cheaper, but it's still the same. So that's pretty cool. But I'm not going to use that. And then the other options are like the flight duration, and of course you might want to just keep it in under. If it's a typical almost 3 hour flight, I want to keep it under 3 hours, under 4 hours. And then it'll just return the flights within that time frame. The next part is, and I'll try to speed up because this is about to end, but the next option is like if I want to track prices. Say for instance, I have time to schedule this, but I want to watch just to see if these prices go down for this particular time frame, then you can enable track prices. The next feature is the date grid, which is pretty cool because you can kind of scroll through the different departure dates and see the ranges as well as the return dates to see to gauge the pricing. This particular instance, if you would, is pretty consistent across the board, but sometimes you can find, if your dates are flexible, sometimes you can find cheaper prices. And usually the cheaper prices are noted in green. So they'll be like this, say for instance, that was $178 or something. Then that would be green. Then you would know you could leave on August 31st and return on September 1st, like 1 day trip. Who knows? So anyway, excuse me. That's a cool feature. The next one is the price graph, which I really like. And it's good for those that have that, want that visual, if you would. But this might not have been a great example because this is pretty much straight across the board as you've seen it with the date pricing or the date graph, if you would. So it's pretty consistent across the board. But sometimes with various flights, you'll see where the bar may be lower. And if it's lower, of course, the price is lower. So it'll give you that. If you see the little date thing up at the top, I can't point because you can't see my finger. But if you see that, then it'll kind of show you that's your date range and here's your price for a 4-day trip. And so you can gauge it by the length of the bar. The next one is the airports. So say for instance, oftentimes you can fly to the next closest airport or connecting airport for this matter. And, sometimes the flights are cheaper. So, and of course it'll show the map so you can kind of gauge, maybe you want to fly in to a connecting airport. That's not what I'm trying to say. A closer airport and get a rental car and just drive to your location. So that's pretty cool. And I think I'm going to leave it like that, and I'll probably come back a little later and go into more detail. I don't want to keep you long. I didn't want to keep you long, but that was just a little idea of how detailed Google Flights is, as well as far as trying to find the best travel deals for your flight information. And I am almost sleepy. Anyway, you can find out more detail. I go into detail. I have graphs in here. And illustrations and different things on how to show you how to afford to travel when you want and where you want without breaking the bank. Again, I am Christina Sanders, the author of My Little Travel Black Book. Hope that was helpful to you. Have a good evening.